Well, let's break it down the way it needs to be broken down after a crazy, crazy weekend of football and other sports, which we will not get to most of today, but it's a giant Jet day for sure. Good afternoon, Evan. How are you today, kid?
Happy New Year.
All right, and then we can stop saying that to each other,
One
too.
and done. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Don't say Happy New Year again. This is it. This moment right now, 2021, yippity-doo-dah.
Look, bottom line is this for you. Let's just get right to it. The New York Giants have nothing to bitch and moan about. You're a diehard Giant fan. I get it. You thought you had a shot to make it to the playoffs. You did what you had to do yesterday. Great. We can go over the game. Not that the game against Dallas is even relevant to talk about right now. Giants won. Okay. Philadelphia last night. They go for the touchdown, which would have given them maybe the win, frankly, when Hurts underthrows the receiver cutting back in the back of the end zone. And then, the Eagles tanked. Period. Stop. We're not debating whether or not the Eagles tanked. They tanked. What Doug Peterson said yesterday and today is bogus.
What did they tank for?
They want to have a better draft pick.
From 9 to 6?
Okay, listen. They wanted a better draft pick. It had nothing to do with seeing Nate Sudfeld play or anything else like that. They were twisting the knife in the Giants' back. But that's the relationship we have between New York and Philly. If it was reverse, Giant fans would have carried Joe Judge down the canyon of heroes.
No, I don't know about that.
If he did that to the Eagles.
I don't know about that.
And let's keep it real.
Yeah, but here's the thing that confuses me about the tanking. And I, like everybody else, I'm sitting there watching this football game, and I'm rooting for the Philadelphia Eagles, which I never do. Yep. I thought it would be fun. Giants-Buccaneers would be very entertaining.
Saturday night, Tom Brady, the one team he can't beat in the playoffs.
Yes, it would have been great.
Yes.
But if you look around the NFL yesterday and in past years, there are plenty of situations where a team plays a Week 17 game, and if they lose, they would get a better draft pick. We've seen that for years.
Sure.
Never, in my estimation, have we seen it, though, the way it was executed last night. You know, sitting guys Week 17 because they're quote-unquote injured is one thing. Not just the decision-making, but Jalen Hurts is the guy you want to evaluate.
That's the guy that needs to get more reps.
That's the guy, not Nate Sudfeld. And so I understand what you're saying, and a lot of people are saying, the Eagles tanked. The Eagles tanked,
they did.
Stop. Really? Or is Doug Peterson just incredibly incompetent?
Well, when I say the Eagles tank, just to be clear, and I've said this to you a million times, players don't tank. Although I thought Zach Ertz stopped playing.
I was going to say.
He let a couple guys just blitz Sudfeld like it was nothing. Listen, Jalen Hurts was trying to win.
No,
the Eagles defense was trying to win.
But Craig, we see teams every year going to Week 17 where if they lose compared to winning, they would get a better draft pick.
By a couple spots, whatever it might be.
Couple of spots, 9 to 6, 12 to 5, whatever it is. Have you ever seen anything like we saw last night?
No, and what you're alluding to is playing your best that you can with the guys that are available for 3 quarters, and then with 15 minutes to go in a 3-point game that could have been tied, or you could have had a 4-point lead and had Jalen makes that player that kicked the field goal there when they're on the 5-yard line, deciding that for the final 15 minutes, we're done.
Craig,
we're done. Wrap it up.
Okay. Is that really, let's think about this. Now that we've had, 12 hours or whatever it is to really think about this, to have some sanity to it. And yes, I get it if the Giants win 7 games.
Listen, they're a 6-win team.
Craig, we get it. The bottom line is last night they went into a Sunday night where if the Eagles played a football game and won, the Giants were going to win the division.
And let's say this, the Redskins did everything they could to give the Eagles that game.
They stink.
Right?
They kept turning the ball back over to them. They were awful. But was it really just a tank to go from 9 to 6, or was it a mix of incompetence and a mix of, I don't know what it was.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't have a brilliant theory for it, Craig. All I know is that what I saw last night was something I've really never seen before.
I'll say this. When Seth Joyner, the all-pro Eagle, who I guess does Philadelphia TV, Eagles broadcast, kind of like what Bart Scott does here and what Joe Judge does on MSG and all that stuff, right? Seth Joyner, who doesn't get paid by the Eagles anymore, when he came out and said, I've never been more embarrassed to be associated with the Eagles.
Yeah.
That's the guy that played for them. I look at it from a fan standpoint. What did you expect, man? Like, I just, the idea that there's some sanctity or purity of let's go out there and try our best and play When did that start?
Well,
did I miss that memo?
Listen,
every team's got to do that for every other team?
I'm not disagreeing with that aspect. Your priority is your football team. I defended the Indianapolis Colts. I know it was different, and it benefited the Jets when Curtis Painter jogged onto the field for Peyton Manning. But the Colts had a reason. They were resting for the playoffs. What I am having trouble figuring out, and I don't think it's as simple as they tanked. They wanted to pick sixth. I don't think it was as simple as that. What the hell happened last night?
Did you think he was trying to win?
I don't know what he was trying to do, bro.
Because you got,
I really don't.
Like you said, Jalen Hurts hasn't played in 10 games yet.
I get it, but you're telling me that Doug Peterson sat down before the game and said, okay, here's the plan. We're going to sit a lot of guys who were sort of banged up. Maybe they're banged up, maybe not. Miles Sanders, guys like that. I'm going to play Jalen Hurts, but I really don't want to win. You know, and if there's a field goal opportunity, maybe I don't take it, and then I'm going to take Jalen out of the game because I want to evaluate a guy that you don't need to evaluate. You think this was this master plan? And what was the purpose of it?
If it was a master plan, it don't make any sense. I can tell you that.
That's my point, though.
But you and I, we're not Giants fans. Big Mac is. I get the level of frustration that you have to be living with right now because I felt it. I think we all felt it watching the game like, hey,
100%.
The Eagles might actually win this game. The Giants are going to the playoffs, and then, whoop, they just pulled the rug out from underneath you. So I think I get the level of frustration that Giant fans are feeling right now. Here's the end result to me.
Yeah.
The end result to me is it's another reason to hate Philadelphia.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
More than we already hate Philadelphia sports-wise, right?
Yes.
Like, if I'm a Giant fan right now, I'm on the phone with my buddies who are Mets fans. Beat them by 30 runs every effing game and rub it in their noses.
Yeah.
If I tell my Rangers and Devils and Islanders fans, beat the Flyers with everything you got and then beat them again. Mm-hmm. I tell the Knicks and the Nets,
Thursday,
beat the Sixers by 50.
Thursday night, we're here for you, pal.
To me, all this does is fan the flames of the rivalry between our beautiful, wonderful city and that train wreck.
But here's where I disagree with you. The idea that if the opposite roles were intact,
I think Giant fans would love it.
To go from 9 to 6 or to stick it to Philly? Which aspect of it?
I think sticking it to Philly. I think if the Giants or if the Jets were in that spot, more the Giants, of course, because that's the rivalry.
Right.
If the Giants were playing last night with the chance to keep the Eagles out of the playoffs, and they did what the Eagles did, I think Giant fans would love it.
You know why I don't?
Let's keep it real. You'd love it.
Not real. Not if I'm taking my young quarterback that's my guy going into next year, and instead of getting to watch him play well down the stretch, I'm going to a third-string quarterback for no reason whatsoever.
I think we would celebrate Joe Judge for doing it.
Big Monaco, as a Giant fan, and you hate the Eagles, would you celebrate sticking it to the Eagles the way they did to you?
If they took out Daniel Jones and put in Colt McCoy, I would have thrown something to the television.
No, you wouldn't have.
Yes, I would have.
No, if it was to specifically keep the Eagles out of the playoffs, and listen, either way, a division rival's getting in. But if you could screw the Scroogey button to the Philadelphia Eagles in the same manner,
hold up, by the way,
you would love it.
By the way,
I don't buy your answer at all.
And here's the other thing you're actually wrong about. Not that you meant to. It's not the equivalent of going from Daniel Jones to Colt McCoy. It's the equivalent of going to Alex Tanney if he was on the roster. Yeah. It's the equivalent of going to somebody else we're not even thinking about.
Yeah, listen, I hate the Eagles. More than I hate the Cowboys, more than I hate Washington, I despise the Eagles. My whole generation has been losing to the Eagles, whether it's Vince Young, Jeff Garcia, pops up in a playoff game to beat us. Deshaun Jackson. Matt Dodge kicks the ball right down the middle of the field. Forever. I hate the Eagles. Yeah. I would never embarrass myself on the field of play the way they did last night. I'm sorry, I just wouldn't.
The Eagles didn't embarrass themselves.
Yes, they absolutely did. Sit everyone. Don't play the game. That's fine. But you can't pull it out in the fourth quarter to throw the game like that. It's embarrassing.
The head coach did it. No one else. Because listen, the sad thing about Nate Sudfeld, he's trying his best.
Oh, I know. Poor bastard.
He wasn't tanking. That's the best that kid's got.
I know.
The coach made a decision that winning the game was not important to him. Now, if you want to use the word tank, I don't care what you call it. And in doing so, he tried to curry favor with the Eagle fans that hate the Giants.
Give me a break. No, he didn't.
And he clearly failed miserably.
You know what?
Because Eagle fans are apparently pissed off.
Well, they are because you know why? Because your theory's wrong. as much as the Eagle fan doesn't like the Giants, and I'm not trying to tell you they do, if they would choose who do you like better, Washington fans or Giant fans, I'm sure they'd say Washington fans. But they want to see their team compete. You know, a lot of us, you gave me crap for this, a lot of us were conflicted when the Jets were in their tanking mode to get the Trevor Lawrence. Now, I came around because it was obvious.
Yes.
But going from 9 to 6, Craig, is not obvious.
No, I would not
wanna
say
see
it's
your
obvious.
team
I
compete.
also think there's something else that played into last night's decision.
Doug Peterson is incompetent.
No,
Just say it.
he's not incompetent. He won a Super Bowl 3 years ago.
When you win a
So he's
Super
not
Bowl,
incompetent.
When you win a Super Bowl,
Yeah.
automatically you have been excused from ever being incompetent?
No.
Is that how it works now?
Incompetent? Yes. Yes.
Have you watched him the last 2 years?
I have.
He's incompetent.
The team is falling apart. I
Okay.
love every minute of it.
I agree.
I'm enjoying it.
Me too.
I'm enjoying the implosion of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Has he been competent?
I don't think he would have done it if there were fans in the stands. I don't. I really don't. I do. I think no fans in the stands allowed him to make that decision. I really believe that in my heart.
I don't think you're necessarily
He's
wrong
not
about
doing
that.
that in front of those animals.
But I just
He's
wonder.
not. There's no way. If the guy would not. I mean, Doug Peterson wouldn't have made it home last night. He wouldn't have.
Well, I'm curious on a Sunday night, if there were fans in the stands, how many Washington and Giant fans would have been in the building last night? It's not a bad drive, bro.
No, I know. They said that last night one of the cardboard cutouts got in a fight with another cardboard cutout and spilled a beer on him. That's what they were saying down in Philly. Anyway, listen, it's over. I know you're not happy it's over. Now, to keep it real and take Philadelphia out of the equation for a second, you won 6 games. I think the Giants are a better team than 6-10. That means nothing today, just my belief. If you go back and look, game by game by game by game, and they should have won a few more games, but they didn't. This is not a Super Bowl team, although, who knows, right? We've seen stranger things when Eli Manning went from a skittish quarterback to the greatest Super Bowl quarterback in New York City history, not named Joe Namath, right?
Yeah.
So take stock of what you are and what you aren't. This is not an example of where a 10-6 team got screwed.
No.
The New York Giants won 6 games.
Okay. I get it.
Let's just
Craig,
acknowledge what we're talking about.
I understand the Giants are a 6-10
4
team,
games under 500.
and it's very
Wowzers.
easy. I get it. It's very easy to say that. To say they're 6-10. They didn't deserve to make the playoffs. But as we know in the NFL, every single year.
I didn't say deserve.
Then what did you say?
I'm saying, had the Philadelphia Eagles won, the Giants deserve to make the playoffs. I'm not saying it's about
But
deserving.
I guess
I'm saying, let's just remember, we're not talking about, oh my God, the greatest team we've seen in a decade hasn't made the playoffs.
But what is the bar where it's okay to be upset? If they were an 8-8 team and this happened, would that be okay? Or a 9-7 team? Or a 10-6 team?
If you're a diehard Giant fan, you should be beside yourself today.
Of course you should.
I'm just trying to temper that with some reality.
We know they're a 6-10 team. We also know they finished the season winning 6 out of their last 11, which doesn't sound amazing. And really better than that, I think it was 5 out of their last 8. Whatever it was. They were a better team than what I think the final record showed you. But just because they went 6-10, or if they went 7-9, or if they went 8-8, doesn't change the fact that on a Sunday night, they had a chance to win the division, and the Philadelphia Eagles pulled together this just bizarre. That's the thing I can't take away from it. I don't know if it was anything nefarious. I think it was partially Doug Peterson being the incompetent coach he's been for the last 2 years. It was bizarre on every level. But to the Giants' credit, not that this should make you warm and fuzzy for the next 9 months. They won the football game in Week 17 they needed to win. They put themselves in a position to at least potentially get that break Sunday night to win this division.
And if this were any other week, the fun we would have in breaking down the Giant game and all the and the butt recovery and all the other things that took place in that game with Goldman, with Jones, with Evan Ingram and the Butterfingers again. But here's the reality.
Yeah.
There's no reason to.
No, you're right.
It's over.
And it's forgotten about.
It's over. It's forgotten about. And now the biggest decision now for the New York Giants, then we'll get to the Jets here in a second. The biggest decision is, and I believe he'll be here, is Dave Gettleman making the decisions on who you're going after.
No,
and I believe he
back.
will be, but what do I know?
He's coming back.
Only the guy sitting here with Evan on Tuesday that told you that Adam Gase was going to be fired right after the game on Sunday, and he was fired right after the game on Sunday. And for some reason, all these other yahoos who claim to be NFL insiders who got scooped by a shock jock 4 days before they had the information and can't give any credit at all where credit belongs. It's just the world we live in. I don't know. I guess this is how it goes. I wouldn't want to be scooped by a shock jock either. But you were. So let's just play that out. You were. So Gase is gone. And now it appears, Christopher Johnson has spoken today. We're bringing some of those quotes coming up. It appears now that every single guy, based on what I've read over the last 8 hours, every guy that you've ever heard of, this coordinator, that coordinator,
yes,
this former head coach, this current head coach, everybody is now a possible candidate.
Rightfully so.
For the New York Jets.
Rightfully so.
And the
wide net.
That's
wide
it.
net.
And the one thing that I did already read from Christopher Johnson today is that he gushed about Joe Douglas.
Oh, my God, did he ever?
And it does appear, at least that's in the moment, that Joe Douglas will be the guy picking the next head coach.
It's
so
funny.
I think that's a good thing.
I'm reading what Christopher is saying, and the really, really good news is that it does feel like Joe Douglas is the decision maker, not some firm he's hiring, not Christopher, not Woody, not some non-football CEO. It's going to be Joe Douglas, and that's great.
It's got to be.
Here's the thing that worries me, and I like Joe Douglas. All right, so far his job as Jet GM is incomplete. His free agency sucked. Let's call it like it was.
Good draft.
The draft looks okay. Looks all right.
Decent
I like
draft.
Mekhi Becton when he actually plays.
Yep.
We'll see about Denzel Mims. We'll see about Ashton Davis, guys like that. The punter actually looks pretty good. So far it's incomplete. But Christopher Johnson talked about Joe Douglas as if he is a football god. We got Joe Douglas. He knows what he's doing. And you know what scares me? Think about this. That's how he talked about Adam Gase.
Maybe compared to Christopher Johnson, he is a football god.
Well, so am I. What does that say?
Well, listen, we'll get into all of it, but it's done. The Adam Gase era is over, as you've known since this past Tuesday. But regardless of all that, it's over. It's done. It was clean. It was quick. Christopher Johnson did speak at length today. We'll give you some of those comments throughout the afternoon. I will say this because people on Twitter are asking me about it. Yes, if I were a Jet fan and the Patriots somehow screwed me in the manner that the Eagles screwed the Giants, I would be livid about it, as everyone would be, as all Jet fans would be. I'm not suggesting that as a Giant fan, you don't have every right to bitch and moan today. You do. You got screwed. Not that it was going to guarantee the Eagles winning the game, by the way, but you got screwed by Doug Peterson and the Eagle franchise. All I'm saying is that if it were reversed, as a Jet fan, if I had the chance to screw the Patriots, I would. If the Giants had a chance to screw the Eagles, they would.
You don't know that.
And you should.
No. First of all, you don't know the exact circumstances that would lead to that. Because if I'm the Jets and I'm playing the Miami Dolphins and I've got a choice, do I screw the Patriots or do I screw the Dolphins? We're going to be very mixed about who we'd rather hose. We would be. And you know who I'd rather
everybody.
hose? Yeah, well, in a perfect world, no one would win the AFC East. And I think that you have to look at every situation differently. This wasn't last year. Remember last year the Giants played Washington in the Chase Young game? And the Giants won. And the Giants missed out on Chase Young. That is very different. This is a completely different situation. Just like the Jets going for the number one pick and the Jaguars going for the number one pick. We're talking about 9-6. What the hell are we really talking about?
And here's the beauty of this show. On Twitter, the last two guys, your show's off to a lousy start, Carton. No Giant fan would ever want to screw the Eagles like that. Oh, okay. And 5 tweets before that, Craig, you're so right. If I had the chance to screw the Eagles over in a second, I would. Everybody's happy.
Yes, everybody's thrilled. And don't tell me.
Oh, it's great.
And don't, because you're going to do it again.
What am I
You're
going to
to
do?
say it again, and you're not the only one. Don't give me the cliche of they won 6 games as if that's the barometer on what's allowed and not allowed.
No.
What's the cutoff on when it's okay to be upset about another team at least trying in a Week 17 game? Is that a fair point?
For last night, that's a very fair point. Last night, the Giants only winning 6 games doesn't mean a damn thing.
Doesn't mean anything.
Of course, had they won 7, they'd be in, but it doesn't mean anything for what the Eagles did to the Redskins. That's exactly right.
That's all.
And the Redskins, by the way, were dying for the Eagles to win that game.
They stink.
They did everything they could. I also thought that first interception should have been a touchdown. I know they made contact, but he didn't catch the ball till after the contact.
Right.
I'm not sure why we didn't review that.
How about that Marcus Epps interception that should have set up the game-tying field goal until Doug Peterson went for it? And how about something else?
Yeah.
And this should annoy you because you're a good human. Remember when it was 4th and 1 late in the game and Washington said we're going to go for it?
Yes.
And the Eagles got caught for a neutral zone infraction.
2 guys jumped off sides, yes.
One of the guys, Ty McGill, who jumped off sides, clearly, in my humble opinion, was trying to injure Alex Smith. Did you see what he did?
He went and then continued on and took him by the ankles.
Dude, he was
Yes.
trying to take Alex Smith's leg off.
A little dirty.
What kind of disgusting human would do that?
A Philadelphian.
Yeah.
I mean, let's call it what it is. They play for the Eagles. What do you
So
expect?
not only did Doug Peterson have a mix of incompetence and God knows what was going through his mind, you've got a no-name in Ty McGill who's been on 15 different teams clearly trying to injure Alex Smith? Come on now.
Listen, if you're a diehard Met fan, you better remember this. I'm telling you that right now. Every time you play the Phillies, it's Armageddon. When you play them here, when you play them there.
Well, you wanna be fair?
Every single time. Do the Yankees play the Phillies this year?
I don't think so, no.
I didn't see it on the schedule either.
I don't think it's East versus East this year, but if you're... Oh, actually, I think it is.
Is it? I didn't see it.
I got to double check
Well,
that.
listen, check it. Every time the Yankees, if they do, and the Mets play
Excuse
the Phillies, it's World War
Hey,
12.
Excuse me.
Yeah, let's go.
What's going on Thursday night?
Thursday night, Sixers, Nets.
Oh, you want
Right?
to bring that up?
Yeah, well, later.
Oh, okay.
Tomorrow.
No, I'm just saying we've got the first
Yeah, but-
crack at Philadelphia
Yeah.
comes from that basketball team that can't grab a rebound.
I
That
don't
can't
talk-
play any defense.
I don't talk much about under 500 teams. Sorry. 877-3 in basketball. 877-337.
I was gonna say.
Or else we'd be out of a job.
Good save.